Hello everybody, it's me again, back by myself. This time it's for an NBA video and it's a bit sensitive for me. An All-Star Snubs video. Now, there's not that many, but there's at least two very important ones. Actually there's three. There's three altogether that I'm about to talk about, and three are very important and I think they deserve to be talked about, and they're huge snubs on my part. But the main one is, and we'll start there straight away, straight into it, Devin Booker. Devin Booker is being snubbed for the fourth year in a row. Well, maybe not the fourth year in a row, but at least the third year in a row that he's not been an All-Star. He's been in the league 5 years, averaged over 20 points 4 years in a row. This season he's averaging 27, and he gets overlooked by the likes of CP3. And I have respect for CP3 and what he's done for his career. He's the point guard, he's all this, he's all that. This year, he's got there because his team is winning, and I don't like that idea of the team winning is taken into account with all these all-star things, because I think it's an all-star. It's how good you are, and that's what matters. It's the most. It's other than the MVP and the end of the year awards. It's the most. How do I put this? The most personal accolade you can get as a basketball player during a season. Anyway, it definitely is. So I don't think winning should be taken into account, especially with a guy like Devin Booker, the team has never been built around him or helped build, but never helped him. Like now they've got DeAndre Ayton who's back, and obviously he's playing well. Kelly Oubre is coming into it. Ricky Rubio, they signed the off season. They're 20 and 27, which is better than they've been for his entire career there, and they're on the way up. But I think with Devin Booker, he's the exception of the fact he should just be put in there because he's unbelievable. Offensively, he's unbelievable. Like, he's making his ISO plays unlike a lot of players. There's no one in the league I think plays mid-range ISO like him. You can say what you want about James Harden. If it was me, I would take Devin over James, because I think Devin's defense isn't that great, but it's still better than Harden's, and I think he can give you. I would rather on a winning team have Devin Booker. I'd rather put Devin Booker on someone like the Lakers. I'm just saying that out of winning teams and what teams could use him in a winning situation. I wouldn't put Harden anywhere near there, because I think Devin's unselfish enough to move the ball, but that's a different conversation altogether. Right now it's more so Devin Booker and CP3, and I've watched CP3 this season. This is arguably his worst season as a player, healthy. 17 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. He's on a team with Shea, Gilgeous-Alexander, Dennis Schroeder, so I think he's probably second best guard in that team. So I would have given Shea an All-Star vote before I gave CP3 one, and Shea isn't on the All-Star reserves, but CP3 is, and it's purely because they're winning, and it's purely because he's CP3. Even though when you watch the games, you know Devin Booker's been better than him, and it's unfair that Devin Booker's been penalised just because of how bad his team is, because it's not his fault. He doesn't build the team. It's on him to try and get the team to win, but he can't always do that with a bad squad. While CP3 has been moved around recently enough, now he's landed at OKC, who are these young guys who are making it work earlier than we thought they would, and now he's got this when he shouldn't have. And Devin Booker's also the first player ever to average 27 points and 6 assists with I think a 60% true shooting percentage, whatever that is. He's the first ever to not be in an All-Star game. Like, offensively, he's one of the most gifted. He can drive to the rim, he can jock up threes from anywhere, he can do the mid-range, he can post up. He's definitely an All-Star caliber player, has been his entire career so far. So Devin Booker is definitely, for me, the biggest snub out of all of them. And the fact that he's not going to be in anything over the All-Star weekend again, because obviously he's not the best dunker, he's not going to be in a dunk contest, he could be in a skills competition, but I don't think he is. And I think that'd be disrespectful to him anyway, that his first appearance at the All-Star weekend would be during that, in my opinion. So I think it's horrendous. Honestly, horrendous would be the word I'd have to use, that CP3 has got enter over him. The next one, who I understand he's played less games, and when it comes to East and West, obviously you can say Devin Booker was picked behind CP3 and all these other guys. Again, like he was picked behind Russell Westbrook and this kind of stuff. But he's going directly who I think shouldn't be in there, who I think should be in there instead of him. So the next guy I'm picking is Bradley Beal, should be in there over Kyle Lowry. Now, Kyle Lowry's been good. Kyle Lowry's had a good season so far. Obviously, they're second seed, and he's a big part of that. Him, Siakam, Van Vliet, Ibaka, all of them. They're all part of why they're being so good this year. But, again, it's an individual accolade. Bradley Beal, I think he's played 30 games, so he's played less games than Lowry because he's been injured, but Lowry's injured as well. Beal has 28 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. He's literally, while John Wall is out, trying to do everything for that team. I think this is arguably his best season in his career. It is his best season in his career because this John Wall thing hasn't been there. John Wall held him back for a while, and he's not in a situation to succeed. But Bradley Beal has been playing his heart out for that team, and should be rewarded for it. Kyle Lowry I love Kyle Lowry. He's having one of his best scoring seasons with 20 points a game. He's still past being unselfish and 7 assists. But when it comes to who's more of a star at the moment? Is it Bradley Beal or is it Kyle Lowry? It's Bradley Beal. Players are afraid of Bradley Beal. You don't want to guard Bradley Beal. You're okay guarding Kyle Lowry. You know what you can do to stop him. Bradley Beal has some moves that you can't stop him with. And plus, averaging 28 points a game when you know you're the focal point of the offense says a lot. And he's one of the best scorers in the league. He has been. And like he said, when he reacted to it, he said it's disrespectful. And he was pissed off over it, which he should be. Which is what you want your star to be when it comes to this kind of stuff. Because it's going to either drives you or put you down. And Bradley Beal is definitely the kind of guy who's going to drive him for the rest of the season. And they're not anywhere near... They're 16 and 31, so they're a horrible team. While the Raptors are 34 and 14, the second seed in the East, they're going to make the playoffs. They're set up much better than the Wizards ever will be, by the sounds of it, the way it's going. So I think the city of Washington, especially sports-wise, ignoring the World Series win, when it comes to basketball and football, they definitely need something. I think Bradley Beal has stayed there his entire career. All these trade talks, he's never said he wants to go anywhere. He re-signed a couple of years ago. He's probably going to re-sign, I think, from the way it looks. So I think it's something that City should have been given, and something he deserved, first of all, because you get stuff earned, you don't get it given. And for me, it kind of felt like Lowry got it given to him because of how his team's performed. And then the final one, in my opinion, it's why I'm wearing his jersey, Zach LaVine. The one thing these three guys have in common is they're all on terrible teams. They're all being overlooked by players who aren't as good as them, but are on better teams, on winning teams, are producing well enough on winning teams to get spots in the All-Star games, to get the recognition. While these guys who are carrying the offensive load definitely on their back, all three of them, they're average, when you watch the Bulls, Lowry Markkinen has been extremely underwhelming this year. It's almost like he's playing against himself. Wendell's been out injured. Gaffer's been down. Kobe White's having a rookie season, so he's obviously up and down the entire time. The entire scoring is dependent on Zach LaVine, as it's dependent on Bradley Beal in Washington and Devin Booker in Phoenix. And all these guys, especially when it's in Chicago, this is their home city, the host city, and they don't have any player in it. Zach LaVine's going to be in the dunk contest and show out, obviously. I think he's in it. I hope he's in it still. He's definitely out invited to go. So, the fact he's averaging 25 points a game, 5 rebounds, 4 assists on a team where they could push for a playoff spot. They're in the 9th seed, and I think they're 3 or 4 games out. But the fact he's left out of the All-Star game is ridiculous. Because again, someone like Chris Middleton, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, on the first seed, obviously the best team in the NBA right now. Well, the best regular season team in Milwaukee. So again, that's Giannis's team. Giannis is an all-star. Chicago is Zach LaVine's team, and he's playing like an all-star. He should be an all-star. It all comes down to what team is doing well, what team isn't doing well, who's performing, who's on a winning team, and disregard who's performing on a losing team. And that's the sad reality of the NBA at the moment. That's the way the fans look at it, that's the way the coaches are looking at it. Because the reserves come down to coaches and all that, and GMs and stuff, the fanboying doesn't matter. So usually when this is supposed to fix the issues of the fan voting like in Devin Booker's case the last couple of years, it turns into the coach's job is to win. So they look at what teams are winning. They're looking at what players are helping the teams win, and it's just not the right way to be doing it. So for me, it's just like Zach LaVine, as a Chicago fan and watching them play, he's the best thing we have. First of all, that's the easiest thing you could say. Not seeing him get recognised for putting the entire team on his back. These young guys, he's not, there's no one offensively gifted on team other than him. Not one. Kobe White will hopefully develop into something, but right now it's Zach LaVine. So the fact it's in Chicago too is what I think what bothers me more. What bothers me more is fucking Chris Paul getting into the All-Star game. Like, how is, like, it's his 10th All-Star game, he doesn't need any more. Give Devin Booker his first one. He deserves, out of all these three guys I've mentioned, I think Devin Booker is one that bothers me the most, even as a Chicago fan, because he's been doing this for how many years, and he's been brought down the entire time by a bad organisation, badly run organisation, who don't draft well, who can't attract any talent since the days of Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire and all them. They've just been downhill since those guys left to the Knicks and to the Lakers, respectively. It's just, he might go down as the most disrespected career it's definitely the most disrespected career I've ever seen. I come in from a fellow who's watched him, who's compared him to Kobe Bryant so many times, because when you watch him play, it's almost like the Kobe and MJ comparisons where you can put them side by side and they're very similar to when they play and the moves they can do. So for me, it's just, he's never going to get the respect he deserves, and it's horrible to see. So yeah, I'll be wearing my Zach LaVine jersey during the All-Star game and the All-Star festivities, because he should have been there. Bradley Beal should have been there. Like, you know what it says, name the best player in the Bucks, Antetokounmpo. Name the best player on the Thunder, Shea. Name the best player on the Raptors, Siakam. Name the best player in the Suns, Booker. Name the best player in the Wizards, Beal. Name the best player on the Bulls, LaVine. I think that says enough for me anyway. So that's enough of a rant for me. So thank you for watching, and subscribe and stick around, like the video if you liked it. Give us suggestions on what you think we should do. I went for a little hat moment today because I felt like it was a Chicago video really, wore my Chicago jersey and red and black Jordan, and having a bit of a bad hair moment really, so we're going to ignore that part. And I got my shoulders out, which is a bit weird for me because I am that stressed about this whole situation. So yeah, thank you again for watching, and see you next time. Peace out.